What's good, you guys? It is JC Sims here, and welcome back to my channel. It has been about a week since I've seen you guys last, and today I am back with my first build, and probably my only build, focusing on the Nifty Knitting Stuff Pack that just came out about a week ago. I I'm not in the process of moving anymore. I've officially moved. Everything is moved in, so now videos will be a little more constant, but I've just been kind of working on this video between moving. So this is about a week, a few days, a little less than a week of footage that I've just compiled. And today we are building Grandma's house. And I know that this pack, it's not geared towards elder Sims. And I've seen a few people on Twitter, talking about how it's kind of ageist, that everyone is kind of focusing on older people, but it is what it is. Old people like to knit, and there's nothing wrong with that. So this house, it's not like too cottagey. I didn't like overgrow it somewhere in like Windenburg. It's in the middle of Willow Creek. It just has that kind of cottage style, so it's mainly one floor, and then the second floor is more like a attic type of loft. So that is where I decided to put the knitting kind of activity room. To speak on my thoughts about the pack, it was a community voted stuff pack, so I can't really hate on the content that they're bringing us, because apparently it was wanted, it was voted for. I didn't vote for this at all. I voted in like some of the early rounds, but it just started being a little too much, like going back week after week and voting for all this stuff, and they asked so many questions. So it's kind of like the election. I can't really have a say because I didn't finish the voting process, but the items are cute. They're not really my style. Like I've said in videos past, like I'm all about the neutrals and like the woodsy tones, so all these bright pastel colors aren't really my thing. If that is your thing, knock yourself out. I am so glad for you, but this will probably be my only build where I utilize the Nifty Knitting Stuff Pack, besides like the rocking chairs. I really like those, and a few other things. I really like the hanging plants, so maybe I'm lying, but it's not that I don't like the pack. Like, obviously, if I hated it that much, I wouldn't have bought it. But, it's not really my style. I really just bought it more for my elders to have something to do, and not even elders, just, like, even a way for my elders to spend time with their grandchildren and stuff like that, is awesome. I can't say knitting will be a skill that I use a lot in the game, but I'm glad that it's an option if I ever decide to. So this house is really cool. Like I said, it's mainly one story. Pretty much the whole thing is one story. I really like the style. It's I would say it's like a cottage style, but it's not like a cottage, if that makes sense. So a lot of plants, a lot of bright colors. At first I was gonna make the house like bright yellow, and then I was like, that's a little too much out of my style, so I went more with like a muted house tone, and then inside of the house is where I kind of try to mix those colors up, make it look a little more retro. It's funny because I feel like I do builds a lot where I focus more on like classical and not very modern, but like modern is what I like personally, like my personal style. But I feel like I've been doing a lot of builds lately that's like Grandma's house type of builds, so yeah. But awesome news is this is probably going to be my last video on my iMac. I'm sitting right next to my new Alienware gaming PC, but I am waiting for my keyboard and mouse. I have everything. I have the monitor, the computer, headset, everything. I'm waiting for my mouse and keyboard. I just don't want to boot up the computer with my Apple mouse because I just want to get the full experience. I know it's like weird, but that's just how I'm feeling. So the keyboard and mouse was supposed to get here today, and it never came. So I am praying that it comes tomorrow. I am praying that it comes tomorrow and that my next build will be from my new gaming computer. I've been using my monitor that I got. My Alienware monitor is like an external monitor, but it's not the same. So I'm really excited to get my keyboard and mouse and switch over to my gaming PC. There are still really fun changes coming to the channel. I am still going to work with Kath over on Twitter to kind of redesign everything on my channel. It's more just that all of these expenses kind of caught up to me, like a new computer and stuff, so I haven't really been able to like move forward with commissioning her to work on my channel, but that is coming really soon. I'm really just trying to get the computer, all of like the technological stuff settled before I work on my channel art. So that's enough about my channel. Back to the build. I put these dormers on the build, but they're not accessible. I was going to make like a hallway from the knitting room down there, but they're just not accessible. I didn't want them to be accessible, but they added a nice dimension to the house that I appreciated. And I'm using the new door back here. I did not realize those were knitted flowers until I played with the game. Like I've said in past videos, I don't really watch early access videos on new packs, and especially this one. I'm not trying to sound like a hater, but like this pack wasn't my style. And I also, it's kind of upsetting that we only got like 21 items. That's not counting the like new hats and like knitting creative style stuff. That's unlockable, but 21 accessible build mode items from Jump is kind of sad. And I wasn't saying that until I was playing the game, and I was looking through, I think, laundry stuff, and there was just rows and rows and rows of items like that we could have picked from and used in our game. So it's weird that like, I don't know if the Sims team maybe got new people through like halfway through the franchise or something, but I do feel in a way that like the Sims team is kind of cheapening out on us a little bit. But that's just my opinion. Maybe it's because it was a fan voted stuff pack. I don't know. I just feel like we were very shorted in this, and I am gonna be honest. I feel that way about eco lifestyle sometimes. I don't know. I'm hoping really big things for Sims 5, but I don't want to get my hopes up. But I love The Sims 4. I'm not trying to sound like a hater. I've been playing The Sims since Sims 1, so I've been here for a while. It's just, I've been able to watch the progression from Sims 1 expansion packs to Sims 2 expansion packs, and it's different. So, yeah, that's my little rant about how I feel about the Sims community. I love The Sims. I love this game. The stuff pack has nice stuff. But like I said, I just don't feel as though we're getting our money's worth out of the packs anymore compared to the other packs. If Nifty Knitting would have set the standard and all of our stuff packs were like that, then I couldn't complain. But when I'm used to getting, 30 to 40, maybe even 50 items in one stuff pack, and then later in the franchise we're getting 20 items, it's I can't help but to feel some type of way. But enough about my ranting. Back to the build. Right now I just put these chimneys made out of walls. The roof was giving me an issue joining up with the knitting nook because the roof was cutting in and I could not fix it without like covering with a fireplace. So that's what I did up here. And yeah, then the knitting room actually came out a lot better than I anticipated because I started putting the stuff in there. I was like, ugh, I don't like this. It's so like, it's such a niche pack, which I feel like I was talking about how Island Living was so versatile. And it is versatile. I don't mean this, I don't think that they cheapened out like with Eco. I'm not saying Eco Lifestyle was like a flop. I like Eco Lifestyle. But like Eco Lifestyle, I'm able to use all the objects throughout all my games, whereas I feel like Nifty Knitting is a very niche pack, and the style of the pack is very like specific to a certain style, which I like being able to use the items with everything, but that's just me. Um, I will say I do like the couches in Nifty Knitting. I think they're very nice. And I also like the debug objects, but you guys know how I feel about debug. It's so confusing, but um, Twisted Maxi, who does the tool mod, is working on, I don't know if it's a separate mod or an update to the tool mod, but they are completely redesigning the debug menu so that it will be easier to find stuff, it'll be better categorized, and you'll also be able to eyedrop stuff. So maybe I'll use it because I really like the debug objects. I think they add a lot of objects to the game that we're missing in terms of clutter. Um, but it's just such a confusing menu for me. And then, like, when I'm done with what I need, it's just cluttering up everything. So I'm excited for that mod, but I do like the debug, like planters and little toys and things like that. Right now, I'm working on kind of like I do I want to call it like a retaining wall kind of bushes and rocks. So the home is kind of on a hill, and then I wanted to add some type of like drama to the front. So I see these a lot with houses, this style that there's like a little, like, I'm doing air quotes, retaining wall like around the front just to kind of accentuate that different leveling. And I really like that. The landscaping on this is very simple. It's not organized, like perfect manicured, but I really, really like it. And I really like the back deck, like using the stilts. I do that a lot in my personal gameplay, but I never thought it looked right. And then one day I realized it's because like grass under a deck would be dead because it gets no sun. So that's once I started painting like with terrain, like under there to look like dead grass. It looks so real, and it looks so nice. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. It is Monday where I am, and I'm honestly going to get this video uploaded today. It's been a long work in progress, just like me moving and stuff, and only being able to sit and film for like, honestly, I've been able to film for like 40 minutes at a time this whole time. So, and even when I had time to film, I was just so tired from moving that I didn't even want to film. So now that I'm settled in, it's awesome. I'm actually finalizing The Sims 4 on my gaming PC now. I know in the beginning of the voiceover I said I'm just waiting on my keyboard, and I honestly went out last night, had a few drinks, and did the first part of this voiceover, and then I didn't feel like doing it anymore, so I went to sleep, and then I woke up this morning and my keyboard and mouse were here. So now I'm getting all of that settled, and I'm going through it because it's kind of difficult. Like I haven't set up a PC in over 10 years, so I keep getting errors and everything else. So I'm gonna have to sit down and watch a video after I make this voiceover on how the hell do you set up a gaming PC, because I feel like such a grandpa. Like I have lost touch with technology, and it's the weirdest feeling. But now I'm starting to put wallpapers on. As you can see, like the colors, especially in the kitchen and the bathroom, are very bright. Like that classic retro, like where like everything is a themed color in the room. So the whole kitchen is blue, the whole bathroom is blue counters. I love that. But a lot of the other house. Oh, sorry, I have a dog on me who's panting. But the rest of the house is kind of muted because our sim lives with her husband, so I assumed her husband didn't want to live in a pink and yellow home. So it's called Grandma's house, but I guess it should be grandparents' house because Grandma and Grandpa do live here. I really do like this house. I love the way it's set up. It's very realistic to me. One thing I don't put in houses is hallways. And I put a hallway in this house, and I think it really just set everything together. And I really liked the layout. I was so happy I was able to get an attic that looked okay from the outside. Usually my attics look a little crazy when I try to build them like into the roof. So glad I was able to do that. But this house has 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. There is a formal living room, and then like more of like a den, and then a dining room, kitchen, patio, attic, which I said. So this is a really nice house. This is a house that I would maybe see, like in my game, I would have maybe my younger Sims move here and renovate it as they kind of get more money, make it like a modern house. So that's just something that I would personally do with the game. But right now, I just wanted to make it so like antique. So a lot of greens. I love green, especially in the master bedroom. It has like this horrible green carpet, like that's designed, and I did that because my grandma actually has horrible green carpet, and that's just the first thing that came to mind. So I love that. And I also went around and I put these holes in the wall. You know, they're very clean, and she keeps her house very tidy, but it is an older house, so I wanted to make that apparent. So I did put some of these like little holes, but I tried to hide them behind like furniture and stuff. And it actually looks really good and very realistic. So I love adding little details like that, like spider webs and like things like that. You know, whose house is always pristine. Like, I just moved, so my room was nice and put together, and then I started getting packages and things, and you know, it's life. Things get messy. But we are finally up here doing the knitting room, and as you can see, I like the colors are just so bright. I pretty much use the white swatch and everything because like the baby blues and the like, ugh, I can't. But this first like knitting room that I'm putting down actually completely changes. I did this with my eco lifestyle build. I feel like I put all of the new skill building objects, just flopped them in one room, and it didn't really look like it meshed well together. So I came back after I did the other parts of the house, and I actually really like the finished product at the end with the knitting room. Um, I will say I am excited for Plopsy, only because we don't have to knit to sell things. I can really see myself having a sim that lives in like San Myshuno that sells candles off of her. Plopsy. So I really like that idea. I've watched a few videos of it. I'm not really a fan of how. I mean, it's realistic because obviously no one's gonna buy your stuff on Etsy in an instant, but it is kind of annoying that we have to wait 3 days to sell something. But I figure that if you make a bunch of listings and put them on there, then it'll be different. You can kind of get lump sums of money at one time. So I also put this little, well, it cut out, but there's a little cutout outside. I went based off of a reference picture that I honestly wouldn't even be able to find, but it looks nothing like the reference picture. I used the reference picture and then I completely changed it. I really just used the reference picture for the shape, but as you can see, I did put that new couch up here, and oh, I'm redesigning the knitting room already. Yeah, so the kind of corners and nook where you like sit down, I wanted to make it more like if we had them, that's where she would like to sew. So that's like a sewing nook, and then I put all these mannequins around. I'm not sure if you're able to put your like hats and stuff that you've knitted on mannequins, but I put a bunch of mannequins around so you can showcase all of that. And then I tried to change up the colors a little bit and add it, you know, make it a little more bright and not so white. So, you know, I did add some pinks and baby blues, but I still kept it my style where it's just accents. I can't stand to see, like, at least when I build it, like a bunch of colors. Like I've seen other people make their builds look really good and colorful, but for me in my eye, I don't really like that. But yeah, I'm just kind of putting little paintings, little knickknacks up here. Yeah, I ended up liking this room a lot more than I thought. It's not that I was dreading it. Um, I it's just I didn't know where to start, so that was the knitting room. Now we're working on the formal living room, which I feel like whenever I build a formal living room, it's always my favorite room in the house. I just always like rooms like this. Like at my room at home, we have like a living room that doesn't have a TV, and that's just kind of where everybody talks. And then if you want to go watch TV, you can go like to the entertainment room. So I like putting formal like living rooms in not all my builds, but most of the ones that are classical like this. So now we're into the den, and the den, it still has like that wallpaper, but I wanted to make this look a little more updated. Like they went and got a new couch set and then like a new flat screen just to like chill with the family somewhere. So it still is like, not modern or anything, but there are some updated aspects in this build. Just because like this is a house where, you know, children still come, grandchildren, it's a hangout spot. And I feel like that's usually what like your grandparents' house is. Like everyone just kind of congregates there and chills out and eats and stuff. So I wanted to make that very apparent in this room. Uh, I also wanted to touch on Twitch a little bit because I don't know if I've talked about this yet. I might have mentioned it, but I am going to start streaming on Twitch. I am still waiting for my webcam to come. It's weird because a lot of the gaming and streaming webcams, like the prices went up during quarantine. And on top of that, a lot of them, like, you can't find them on Amazon for 2-day shipping. So I've been having to wait a while. But once I get my camera, and then also I need to sit down and, like, give myself a tutorial on how to do, like, overlays and things. Because I'm just the type where I want my stuff to look professional from the jump. I don't want to just start and not have any, like, animations or, like, standby screens. I want to have, at least something that looks nice and professional, and then as time goes on I can just get better and better and better. I just like to start out with everything kind of in a row. One, so I am knowledgeable on Twitch. I don't want to jump into something where I don't even know what I'm doing. I've never even streamed before, a live game. So I need to familiarize myself with Twitch, maybe have a few fake streams, like just with myself, so I can kind of, get everything down. But I don't really know a date for now. I'm just gonna put it out as far as I can right now and say that like August 30th, around there, I will start streaming on Twitch. But regardless, I will let you know. If not on here, I would definitely follow me on Twitter. My name on Twitter is JC underscore Sims. I don't know. Let me go look at it. Oh, it is JC Sims 11. It is always in the down bar. If you don't follow me on there, what are you doing? Because that's where I do giveaways. I don't do giveaways on YouTube just because whenever I do a giveaway, it's always like spontaneous, and it's just easier for people to enter over on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'll start doing YouTube giveaways, but it's just usually something that I do off of impulse. And if you want to enter a giveaway, if you want to see any updates on Twitch or my channel, that is the first place you will see those. So, yes. Right now we are doing the child's room. So this room, I wanted it to look like it was the grandparents' child. So I wanted it to look like it was still not touched from when the child moved out. So at first I was going to go with this like IKEA-y look. And I was like, no, IKEA wouldn't have existed back then. So I went with more of a classical look and then upgraded it like based on what a teenager would want to upgrade their room with. So whenever I do a child's room, I never really make it all like perfect. Usually has like a mismatched lamp or something somewhere, just because that's what kids do. But I really ended up liking this room. So this is kind of used as like a guest room too, I guess, because there's no child living here or a teenager. But I just wanted to give that feel that this was their child's room at one point and they just never changed it. So moving on to the bathroom, it's not my cup of tea. I wanted to use like the older, blue tub, all that type of stuff, but the blues didn't really match the way I wanted them to, but I still used blues and stuff around there. Yeah, it's a bathroom. It's nothing too extravagant. It's not like an ensuite or anything. Very simple, old style, needs renovated bathroom. But out here, off of the den, is just this like little front patio section. So there's a lot of like outdoor places. So you can come out here and knit and kind of watch traffic go by. I don't know. But finally, we're doing just a few little pieces, just the patios and some landscaping. I was able to use the backyard stuff for the first time, which is cool. And the wind chime, stuff like that. I love that. But out here, it's just like a grill, a fire pit. Nothing too much, but definitely, like I said, this house is such an awesome place to just come and chill out with family. And now that we're able to, what is it, reminisce in the rocking chairs? I don't know. This pack is giving me strong, like, not parenthood vibes, like generations vibes. I wish we had a generations pack. I know parenthood was supposed to be generations, but it just isn't. It is. But now that I have my gaming PC, I will start doing, probably on Twitch, some Sims 3 and Sims 2 builds. Just because I love Sims 2 and Sims 3. I love the build mode in Sims 4 the best, but like, as far as gameplay, I think Sims 3 is unmatched in gameplay, but Sims 3 was also just very taxing on even like the best computers. I remember my computer back then, I had an iMac, and Sims 3 did not work well on Mac. So Sims 3 is one of those games that I loved. Like, it's the Sims games that I really, really loved, but I wasn't able to play it as much as I played Sims 2 and Sims 4 now. So yeah, but we are pretty much done with the build. I put some debug objects down and they did not delete. That's also something in Twisted Maxie's mod that they're coming out with. You're gonna be able to delete debug objects that get stuck. But yeah, this is pretty much the build. We're just going around and putting the trees in. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. This will be on the gallery when I upload this. So if you like it, go ahead and download that. The gallery link will be down below. And as always, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.